It is said, when the Fae were born, the gods caught fire and wind, and twisted them together to give life and form to noble creatures, immutable and timeless. And when the gods made life in the mortal realm, they crafted their creatures of mud and dust, then stole a piece of fire from the Fae, and breathed it into the mud to create life. And the Fae loved these creatures, for after all, they were a part of Fae. So too was it for humans. Ash and mud and dust were stolen fire to create life more malleable and temporary, and the Fae loved them too, at first. But the humans were not as the beasts before them. They grew and attained and strived for more, and the Fae taught them, befriended them, became as one. But in the mortal world nothing is forever. A slight, loss to history, perceived or manufactured, tore human and Fae apart. War had come to a world of peace. Fate changed that day. The day the first king of humans, the Fell King, declared war. War. It was the first time the Fae had ever heard the word. What was the purpose of such strife amongst immortals? But perhaps I'm boring you, young Master Woodru. Woodru's head fell off its perch on his hand as he snapped awake. It was unlike him to fall asleep in a lecture, and even more unbecoming his station. Apologies, Maester Oren. I allowed my fatigue to get the better of me. It won't happen again. Maester Oren smiled warmly and wearily, as he looked out at the class as a whole. You've all heard this story before, he acknowledged. I must have heard it 1,000 times since I was a young sprout, Woodru answered. Murmurs of agreement bubbled from the class. Then you know how it ends. To the front of the class, please. Oren's voice was gentle and slow, like a low wind for a field of wheat, and though he challenged Woodru's recollection, it held no malice nor aggression. Woodru rose stiffly from his chair and straightened his uniform, before beginning a rigid military march to the front of the class, where he rounded professionally and faced the class. Already the little commander, Oren smiled at him. For you, knowing why the story is told is more important than how it goes. Woodru let that sink in for a moment, if only out of respect. The Fell King led the humans to war. Their surprise attacks were effective at destroying Fae holds in the mortal realm, but it ended the only way it ever could have. The humans were defeated, in no small part due to our immortality. He couldn't help but smirk. Why would the mortal humans ever want war with the immortal Fae? Fools, the lot of them. Maester Oren smiled sadly at him for a moment before shaking his head. No, I'm afraid not, young Master Woodru. The stories you've heard are incomplete. The Fell King declared war on the Fae, and, as he did, his followers launched surprise attacks, as you say, Woodru. But surprise or not, the Fae holds in the mortal realm did not fall in one day. What followed was a drawn-out slaughter. Humans had to kill to survive, and so they had developed tools to help them kill. We pride ourselves on our finely crafted arms and armor, but it was humans that showed us these weapons. They attacked us with spears and swords. We fought back first with pitchforks and axes. They attacked us with battle lines and strategy. A military. One at yours, Master Woodru, is an imitation of. All we learned of war, we learned from them. The humans live in the realm of death, and they know its make well.